Hey, I was being a little aggressive there earlier. Fajita Friday. Hey, Fajita Friday. Skittle Friday.
We made it. We made
it. We're here. We did it. The only thing is, Ghost, you know what's kind of terrible, though, is we made it, and then they gave us a really crap slate to go over. And they're like, yeah, guys, have fun. They were like, you know what? Good luck, guys. Happy Friday.
This is Chalk City. It's so gross.
Yeah, it's it's not good.
No, it's really not. I'm not a fan of this one.
Before we get into the garbage slate, how you doing, man? What's your weekend plans? How you doing?
I'm doing well. Tomorrow I have to get a couple things for the condo.
Nice.
Then Sunday, I don't know what to do Sunday. It's supposed to be really nice here Sunday. So I don't know what I'm gonna do on Sunday, but I gotta day by day. I don't really make plans for. Even though it's only 2 days away, I don't make plans.
You don't seem like a plans guy. Yeah, you don't seem like.
No, I'm really not. I'm more of a spontaneous guy. Like, hey, let's just go and do this. So,
you look more like a me guy that you just don't do anything. Really, you just kind of hang out.
No, I do a lot of it, especially on the weekend. Really? Like, okay. I make it a mission to not be in the house. Like, especially with
I make it a mission
past year. Like,
as much as I can to stay in the house.
Oh,
quarantine was lovely. Like, I actually loved it.
No, see, I'm the opposite. But that being said, before quarantine, because I was full-time work, full-time school, plus win daily, that's when I was like, yeah, I don't really feel like going out Friday night. I just want to stay in.
Yeah, play video games, watch some TV.
Yeah, I just want to watch like a Sacramento Kings basketball game or something and just chill.
No, actually, no. No, now we're done talking about this. All right, tonight's slate. I can't believe you just went there to watch a Sacramento game. What's wrong with you?
Who doesn't like watching De'Aaron Fox?
Stop it. Tonight's
I love watching De'Aaron Fox.
Why?
It's gross.
Yeah, I was about to say, let's put into, I guess, like context, like why is it that bad?
Okay, so same thing with Orlando. Mo Bamba is going to be like 50+% owned. And then you look at the mid-range, you have Marvin Bagley and Delon Wright, both going to be ridiculously high owned because there's no De'Aaron Fox and no Tyrese Halliburton for the Kings for the third straight game in a row. So people have kind of caught on where if they were playing guys like this in the past week, they've all been crushing. And those that haven't been playing them kind of learned their lesson. And now they are playing them. So
and now they're going to be ridiculous. Yeah, now it's just a perfect storm of being left out and now trying to get back in on it, but now everybody's in on it.
Really, really gross. The Lakers might have 8, maybe 9 active players tonight. Even if AD plays, I'm not playing him. I get it's an important game for them for the playing round, but you just like if you want to play him, it's because you like the Anthony Davis to the locker room tweets. Like that's just I can't do it. So I'm not playing Anthony Davis. And then you look at the rest of the Lakers. There's no Horton Tucker. There's no LeBron. No Dennis Schroeder. Like Caruso's really high owned again, and it's just Lakers chalk. And then you look at Houston, and they're lucky if they're dressing 7 guys tonight. I know the league minimum is 8, but they're probably going to say someone is active, and they're not even going to play them. Like similarly what they did last game. Last game they had 7 guys playing, and they have all their key guys out. Like it's just it's going to be an absolute chalk fest tonight. You got to be. I would not recommend playing cash tonight.
Well, okay, we got just really late news. Coming in, Zion is out. He has a fractured left finger and will be sidelined indefinitely.
There you go. No Zion, no Brandon Ingram. Now there's even now it's Pelicans chalk on top of it. It's just like, oh my God. Just as I was finishing saying how gross it is, it just got even worse. So I don't think Steven Adams plays in this one either. You got no Zion, no Brandon Ingram. So
I wouldn't even trust Embiid here.
Embiid's not going to play in this. I would doubt that Embiid plays, and even if he does, I'm not playing him. Not against Willie Hernan Gomez, and bro, they're going to win by 30. Like it doesn't make sense. So, this is really gross. It's really really gross. You have to be careful tonight. There's going to be so many landmines. You have to be careful. I would not play cash tonight because there's going to be ownership all over the place, and if you get one wrong player, you're drawing dead. There's going to be so many duplicate lineups where You get one guy wrong, you're drawing dead. So I'm not playing cash night, and it takes a lot.
I mean, it
for me
seems
to say
like
that.
way too many opportunities to get that one guy wrong.
Yeah,
That's
you
basically
could
what you're
there's
trying to
so many guys that are playing the same positions. So we got to find a way to get different tonight. For me, it's I'm not playing these mid-range guys. I'm not playing the DeLon Wrights and the Marvin Bagleys. I'm still sticking to two studs or one stud and an upper mid-range player. So that's how I'm getting different tonight. You're gonna have to eat a lot of the chalk in your lineup where you might only have to get different in 2 to 3 spots. As crazy as that sounds, that's usually the theme for our cash lineups, where you're eating chalk on 5 to 6 players and then just making a 2-for-2 swap to get above the lineup train. But with just how many guys are out, how can you not play 2 to 3 Houston players tonight? How can you possibly not play Alex Caruso? Yep. And if you're not, you need to get another Laker in your lineup. It's just there's so many guys where Houston's gonna play 7 players tonight. We don't even know if Kelly Olynyk is one of those guys.
Is this just late season NBA grossness?
This for those that are playing NBA DFS for the first time, this is what the last week and a half of NBA DFS is. You get guys getting shut down. You have players that are injured or slightly injured where they're resting for the playoffs. You get guys sitting out on back-to-backs, guys that are in blowout matches. Can you play Giannis tonight? They might win by 40 points. You can't touch these games from a betting perspective either. Milwaukee is a 17-point favorite tonight. How can you play Giannis in that type of game? You think Giannis is going to go out there and play 38 minutes and try and drop 40 and 20 for what? To win their 46th or 47th game of the season and still to finish in the 3rd seed? Giannis doesn't have to go out there and go nuts tonight. It's just, I don't even know if he's going to play. At this point, he could be a late scratch, and then you have an 11K 0 in your lineup.
So it's not even just
so many
ifs,
ands, or buts.
Now there's a bunch of stars, as you're saying too. I mean, it's just everything's kind of a question mark.
Yeah, it's you really have to pay attention to, we say it every single slate, right? You have to pay attention to the news, but on a slate like this slate ends when the last game tips off. That's when you should stop looking at your lineup, because honestly, there's going to be 10 plus players either ruled out or late scratched all the way up until last tip off. So you need to be able to make swaps, because those that think that it's a set it and forget it type of night, it's the polar opposite of that tonight. You need to be able to swap.
So
I'm not playing Giannis. I'm not playing Embiid.
Set? I was about to say, is there anything we can set here? Or at least know that we're not playing? Let's start with something concrete, I guess, is what I want to get at.
Yeah.
Because this is all over the place, because that's what the slate is. But what is either concrete, whether you're starting them, or concrete in can't play?
So I don't have a concrete, you need to play these core 4 guys. It's going to be a while before I get my core 4 out. So make sure windailysports.com/chat, 7 free days in our Discord. That's where I'll post it closer to lock. But the 2 guys that I am not playing are Giannis and Joel Embiid. I don't even think Embiid plays tonight, but even if he does, those guys are completely out of my player pool. I get it. Giannis can go nuts, but how can you play him tonight? There's 17-point favorites with Houston running a 7-man rotation. I just don't see it. So I'm not playing Giannis or Embiid tonight. If I'm paying up for anybody, it's going to be, as crazy as it sounds, Joker's going up against Rudy Gobert. I don't even care. Denver needs the win more than any other stud out there, right?
Is Jokic almost matchup proof too? In a sense, I know in a most slates that you would want somebody with a better matchup, but Joker seems like he's the only one here that's sort of matchup proof.
Yeah, kind of right now.
Yeah,
I'm not confident in Luka on the second half of a back-to-back. And I don't know how they're getting 10 points against Cleveland, by the way. Dallas should not be getting 10 points against anybody in this league, let alone I don't get that.
Too.
It's just
is this tonight we think about Randall or no?
It is. Honestly, it is. 10 point, the thing that I'll point out with these studs, and this is what really applies to a guy like Julius Randle. I don't care if they have a flame emoji tonight. I really don't. Mm-hmm. I never do, but tonight, even more so, the fact that you need raw points, because all of these guys that are between 3K and 4K, are going to go 8 to 10 times their price. Like it's going to be another night where people are hitting 400 plus points on DraftKings. It's going to be that kind of night again. So we saw that the other night. The winning lineup was like 450 something points.
And so it seems like you're just trying to set the baseline of points with your stars, and then
I just want a guy that can get me the most amount of raw points. Do I care if Julius Randle goes for 65 instead of 55 just to get a flame emoji? Like, no. I just at this point, it's because we're using so much value. You're building backwards tonight. You're picking your favorite value plays, and then it's, well, how high can I go?
Right.
We're not playing. We're not playing. It's how low can you go? No, it's the opposite. It's, let me pick the value plays and let me get to the top of the pricing grid, and who's going to lock me down the most amount of raw points.
So guys, let's go quickly then and do that between New Orleans and Houston. I feel like those are the two spots, and I know you mentioned Sacramento, I think, as well.
Houston and Sacramento.
Houston and Sacramento. Okay, and not New Orleans. Even with the news, still no. I guess Sixers defense slow.
I mean, I'm okay with it. It's just, again, like I don't know if Lonzo's going to play 36 minutes or 16 minutes. Like that's I'm going to have to wait and see there.
Yeah.
But I will tell you right now, I'm playing KJ Martin Jr. That's just a fact. There's no way I'm not playing him. I think he's 4,700 at the power forward position on Houston. The big news that we need out of Houston right now are either one of or neither of Christian Wood or Kelly Olynyk playing. That for me is really the big news. Out of those guys, that's where you really need to look. And then you could look all up and down this lineup. Jeffries, Anthony Lamb. Those are two guys that I'm going to be looking at heavily in my lineups tonight. At only 3,400, these are guys that are legit going to go 8 to 10 times their price. So I'm looking at guys like that who have high enough upside in such a thin rotation that's where I want to go. Another guy is Alex Caruso. As crazy as it sounds, Portland is still ranked 29th in defensive rating. Like I get it. LA they're not exactly in a good spot right now in their team, but someone's got to score for these guys. Someone's going to go out there and put the ball in the hoop. And right now, as crazy as it sounds, it might be a guy like Alex Caruso. It might be a guy like Montrezl Harrell. Like, these are guys that they're going to be they'll barely be in the playoff rotation, right? Like Montrezl Harrell, it wouldn't surprise me if down the stretch they're going Anthony Davis and Andre Drummond all the way in the paint, right? So that's where a veteran like Marc Gasol is going to play in the playoffs too. Like, I don't even know if Montrezl Harrell is going to be all that important to their playoff run. This is the perfect game where he gets Enes Kanter's defense, or lack thereof, I should say, and he's going to be able to put up points. Same thing with Alex Caruso, right? So a ton of these guys are going to have to get there. And then if you want to go in the mid-range tonight where you're not confident in Jokic, you're not confident in Randle, or maybe it's just that you can't get low enough value, the Jeffries, the Anthony Lambs, maybe you don't want to play guys like that. For me, it's the Sacramento duo once again. We've been playing these guys for over a week now with DeLon Wright and Marvin Bagley. The one thing that I will say about them is that their price is no longer $5,000.
Yeah.
These are some high prices to pay going up against Greg Popovich's defense and a very slow San Antonio team that needs the win. We get it. The Pelicans now are pretty much on the outside looking in. They always were, but now even more so to the fact that Zion's been pretty much shut down for the season. Brandon Ingram's out and probably won't play again. San Antonio's got a pretty good grip on that 10 spot, but it's not like they could just go out there and say, hey, we're gonna barely play tonight. Like no, like what happens if New Orleans sneaks in a win here or there, and then all of a sudden they steal away that 10 seed. So San Antonio needs this win too. I don't know if I want to pay $7,000 for DeLon Wright. Like it takes a lot for him to really get there. And with the amount of value that we have tonight, I mean, what's the point of going into that mid-range? Like, you might as well lock down all the really, really cheap guys, the Jeffries, the Carusos, the Anthony Lambs, all these guys that are 3 to 3.5K, and then just take the Jokers, the Randalls. I get it. They're not in the best matchups, but I don't want to hope that DeLon Wright puts up 55 at 7K. I rather just take the sure thing. I know on a bad night, Julius Randle's going to put up 45 to 50, where DeLon Wright putting up 45 to 50 is a career night for him. Like, it's just, for me, that's the route that I'm taking tonight. The exact pinpoint plays, we don't have them right now. We need way more news. There is so much pending on this slate, But that's the route that I'm taking. The overall strategy tonight is that I'm looking at the really, really cheap punts, and then I will lock down the value with two studs that will guarantee me 50 to 55 plus. And you know what? Julius Randle in this matchup has the capacity to be able to go 55, 60, 65, especially against DeAndre Ayton and his defense.
Yeah, so it sounds like with the Stars, you're just trying to set as high of a baseline as you can and let the scrubs or the value end up doing most of the work.
Absolutely. A guy like Jared Vanderbilt, another guy at 3,300, he's seeing 25 minutes a game at 3,300. What, Karl Anthony Towns is going to go out there and play 36 minutes? For what? Like, what is Minnesota playing for right now? Like, these are the things that you really need to think about when you're building your lineup. Same thing with Dallas tonight. We can go right back to both centers in Dwight Powell and Willie Cauley-Stein yesterday did so well. It didn't matter which one you picked. We were saying, like, personally, I said I think Willie Cauley-Stein starts. That's exactly what happened. Both of them had great games. It doesn't even matter at that point, right? So can we get another situation like this against Cleveland? I mean, yeah, absolutely. KP is still not playing in this game. So you have so many guys that are below 3,500 tonight that are going to see not just garbage time minutes or not even just 15 to 20. They're going to see 30 plus minutes. You need to play these guys. And at this point, it's just you got to pick and choose which one you think is in the best spot. You got to make sure that your lineup makes sense. Also, that, you know what, if Karl Anthony Towns for some reason is the stud that you're paying up for, well, then don't play a Jared Vanderbilt. That just doesn't make sense, right? So you got to make sure your lineup makes sense with the stud that you're pairing with them. And then from there, you need to take advantage of the amount of guys that are below 3,500 tonight, and then just take the raw points with the Jokers, the Julius Randles, the Jason Tatums, the Damian Lillards. These guys all need wins. Boston needs a win tonight. Chicago needs a win tonight. And they're playing each other on top of that. Joker needs the win. Same thing for Denver out there. They're jockeying back and forth with LA in that 3 to 4 seed. These are all guys that I want to play studs that are in meaningful games. Damian Lillard needs this win against LA. They don't want to play in the playing round. They need this win. They want to, if any other team in the NBA wants something right now, it's to see the Los Angeles Lakers play in the playing round. So Dame wants this win. This is a guy that I don't care if it's going to be a blow or not. He's going to see 36 minutes tonight. These are studs that I want in my lineups. Not the and you can't do that by paying $7,000 for DeLon Wright. That's the only thing that I don't see. I'm not saying it's not a good play. It is a good play, and he's gonna get there. He's gonna get 40 to 45 DK tonight, but that might not be good enough. We saw lineups last week where you were putting up 375 and you're not cashing, because at this point, this is a slate where it's all about the right combinations, and that's the most important thing for me tonight.
I'm not gonna say this is a core, but I mean Randall, Jokic, and Lillard with the type of values on there. I mean, does that seem any bit of a possible scenario for you?
Absolutely. This is something where, you know, you look and you're like, okay, well, I'm playing Anthony Lamb, you know, a bit of a risky play. It's not. They're in a 7-man rotation. He just played 34 minutes and put up 34 DraftKings points at $3,400. His price did not move because nobody played him other than anybody in the Win Daily Discord. Alex Caruso, 4K. Put in Jeffries if you want. Put in both. Jeffries is 3,300. There's your other play. We can't give full out lineups. We'll give 7 out of 8. Plug in Jeffries at shooting guard at 3,300. All of a sudden, you got $4,000 left for the last spot. Like, it's more than doable on a slate like this, where, you know, typically we go stars and scrubs because we want to avoid the mid range. Tonight, it's just more so which combination is going to allow me to get the most points. And guys like DeLon Wright, I'm not saying they're not going to get there. He's a good play. Mo Bamba, he's a good play. But again, it's all about the combinations where at that point, not only do you need your value to go off, you need guys like that to have career nights. And that's what scares me on a slate like this.
All right. That was not encouraging, any of that, but it's good. You know what? Just windailysports.com. Check out the Discord chat, and hey, we'll do a little showing of what it's going to be like. Here's a little bit of a lineup, right? Jeffries, Lamb, Martin, Mo, Caruso, Randall, Joker.
See, I like that. Like, that's a spot where I'm okay with playing DeLon Wright because you have the upside with Julius Randle and Joker. So it's just
finding a way to get right in there.
Tonight, it's very doable. It's very, very doable, and we will take down tournaments tonight just like any other slate. But the one thing that I want to say is that you need to be able to get the right combinations. And as easy as that sounds, Probably as dumb as that sounds, that's what it comes down to tonight. You need to be able to interchange players and swap out a Jeffries for a Vanderbilt, swap out a Joker for like personally, I'm not playing Giannis. This is just using examples. Swap out Joker for Giannis. Like these are all spots where the core of your build needs to be the same, and then you're just interchanging everybody. It's going to be a crazy puzzle piece tonight, and honestly, I'm really looking forward to it because it's going to be a fun slate, and there's going to be some really high scores, and it's going to be fun to be able to chase people down and still finish at the top of the leaderboard.
Yeah, it really will be. That was a really good breakdown, fellas. As we're wrapping up here.
This one's gross. Shout out Stoby for writing today. Wow, crazy courage to be able to write up a slate like this. So even on the greasy ones,
help us. Even though you did very good. So my recommendation is for everyone: check out the projection models, check out the cheat sheets, go to the Discord chat. Talk with my guy Ghost. I guess talk with Stoby and get 6 rockets into your lineup and watch 460 take down a tourney. It's going to be wild. Let us help you. Let Ghost help you throughout this one. And this is probably Ghost. Like, is this honestly what it's going to be like now until the playoffs start?
It will be. It's not going to be to this magnitude. It just so happened that everything the stars aligned tonight, where everything just kind of came down tonight because it's a bigger slate. But this is what it's going to be like. So you can't get discouraged if you play a guy like Anthony Lamb and it's Jeffries that goes off. Like it's at the time of the year where it's end of season NBA. It's utter chaos, and you learn to love it, honestly, because it is a crazy time and there's so much money to be won because people get caught up with other sports. It's Friday night. People are thinking about MLB lineups. They're thinking about a bunch of other stuff. There's a serious edge in NBA to be had at the end of the season, and let us guide you. That's exactly what we're here for. Yeah, that's what we're here for. WinDailySports.com. That is it for the NBA DFS preview. Going through the garbage. We were scrolling through the garbage of the DFL slate, but that's okay. Because Ghost, that's why he's here. He gets you in the best spot, and he's going to do that in the Discord chat. Can't stress it enough. Be there while setting this slate. That's it for the NBA DFS preview show. We'll be back Monday. WinDailySports.com. Happy Fajita Friday.
Happy Fajita Friday.